Alright, today the car I have for you is a Mazda CX-5 2017. So, if you don't know too much about cars and you would like to look at one of these as a new car, I'll show you here some steps and I'll give you some tips about how you can look them up and so how you can know uh, are, if it's a good car or not. First thing I will propose to do is check the exterior condition. For this one, make sure that you're under a bright light and that the car is clean. Walk around, look at the paint, and keep a careful eye for the gaps between the doors and the hood and the bumpers. In this case, everything looks alright. There is only minor scratches, some places, but very minimal. Next, look at the windshield. Make sure it's not cracked. And this case looks good. There's a sunroof. Take a quick look. Make sure it's aligned. Looks aligned. Next is the tires and the rims. Make sure you have enough treads on the tires. Look for any damage on the mag. On this car, they all look great. Now these are winter tires, so make sure you ask for summer tires if you have winter wherever you live. In this case, the summer tires are here, so look them up as well. I can see the treads are good, and there's the fours. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the exterior has been checked. The idea here is really is you're not supposed to be the mechanic, you're just supposed to be the first looker. You're the first one that looks at the car, and I would suggest to take it to a mechanic as a second step. So you just want to make sure that at least when you bring something to a mechanic, you don't lose his time, that you already know that the car seems worth it. So with that said, the next step is the engine condition. Start the car and listen. There are no exhaust leaks. No fume coming out from the exhaust that seems odd, so everything here looks good. Open the hood and listen. Engine sounds smooth. There are no fumes or gas coming up anywhere, so that's good. It doesn't seem like it's leaking anything on the floor. So engine sounds good. While the hood is open, take a look at all the bolts and the plastic clips. Make sure everything looks right and nothing is out of place. I can see some minor surface rust on some bolts, but they all look the same and they all look like they belong to a Mazda, so nothing scary there. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the engine has been checked. Next is the interior. For this one, start with the doors. Look at the panels, the switches, and then the seat. In this case, the seat looks like It has lost some firmness on the side. However, everything looks clean. Look at the steering wheel. Okay. The rear as well. Now there's the tires, it doesn't help. Open the trunk. This one should be automatic. Works fine. Everything here looks clean as well. I really have nothing to say. Close it back. Next, test the windows. Make sure they all open, including the sunroof. In this case, they all work. Try the windshield wipers. They work, as well as the back one, which works as well. So everything good over here. Don't forget to try the radio, as well as the heating systems. Now the problem in winter, you can't test properly the AC. I would suggest to take it to a mechanic to test it. Even if you try and turn it on, sometimes because it senses that it's already cold, it won't even try, so you can't hear it working. Don't forget the rear view camera. Put it in reverse. It works. Don't forget to look at the seat belts. In this case, they're clean and they all work. Seat belts are a good indication to me that the car has been into a crash and repaired. They are not easy part to find new. They're expensive, so most of the time they will go to scrapyards to pick them up. In scrapyards they get dirty and they're not easy to clean, so they put them on as they get them dirty. In this case, the seat belts are new and clean, so I don't believe they ever have been replaced. With that, I will go ahead and say that the interior has been checked. Over here. Oops. Next would be a test drive. For the test drive, don't be shy to take your time. Test the car in city as well as the highway. Make sure you test the brakes, you test the stability. Also, at least make sure you drive the car until it heats up to normal temperature, which in this case it hasn't yet. And if the salesman or the seller insist on sticking with you on the ride, make sure they remain as much quiet as possible so you can focus on any sound that the car is making. Also, turn off the radio. Sometimes it hides small noises that you could either hear while driving or even while stopped. So in this case, the car drives amazing. Nothing to say. I'll go ahead and say that the test drive is done. Next is the mileage. So you've walked around the car, you have tested the car, you should now have a good feeling about the mileage. In this case, it says 57,000. Now that's very low. I'm not 100% convinced it's possible, although it could, especially because of the passenger of the driver's seat, which in my opinion show too much tear for a car that is with that low mileage. I believe that especially this part of the seat is worn when you go out and in a lot. It's supposed to look firm and beautiful like this side, but instead it's all worn up and squeezed. That's usually an indication that the car has a lot of mileage, but in this case it doesn't, so I'm not so sure. Now, although I'm not 100% sure about the mileage, I will go ahead and say that it has been checked. Next is the VIN. You really don't want to end up buying a stolen and cloned car. So for that, I suggest you locate the VIN plate on the driver's side. Try and remove it with your fingers. You should not be able to remove it at all. If it's too easy, and if it feels like it's a sticker, then you most probably are dealing with a stolen and cloned car. In this case, although it seems like it can be peeled, it's really hard to do it. It's gonna break before I can even do it. If it's too easy, it's the clue you're looking for. You're looking for too easy to remove. Now take the VIN, compare it with the one on the windshield. Make sure this one also doesn't look like it has been tampered with. It looks good on this case. In the CX7, there's a third place you can find the VIN, which is on the passenger side under the floor mat. You can see there is a plastic saying VIN. So open it and make sure that the VIN which is written on the frame is the same as the one on the door. With that, since in this case there is no problem, I will say that the VIN has been checked. Last one is the cluster lights. For the cluster, to test the lights, turn the car off, then turn it back on accessory mode. If you have a push start, you press once or twice but without starting the car, so don't press on the brake pedal as well. What you're looking for, you want to look for all the lights. Are they here? Now there's the sun, so I'm gonna move a little bit to get the sun out of our way, like this. So let's see. All right, we can see all the lights. Now they sometimes come off even if you're trying to look at them, so do it again. Look for the check engine, which is here, ABS, the battery light. You can do it again also to all-wheel drive, traction control, so everything seems there. What some people do sometimes is they will manually remove the cluster, break the lights behind the cluster, the LED lights, so the warnings can come on, and they will hide from you that there's a problem. In this case, when I start the car, all the lights turn off, which indicates to me that if there was a problem, they would show it at least on the cluster. So this cluster does not look like it has been tampered with, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the cluster has been checked. All right. With that, so we walked around the car, we tested the car, we checked it all. Now I haven't found anything major with this one, except for the seat, which in my opinion is too worn for the mileage. It could be that I'm wrong, but it could also be that I'm right. For that specific reason, because I am in doubt, I wouldn't buy the car. Now it depends also on the price and on what my mechanic is going to say. So I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching. Before you go and check your car, don't forget that you can go on the internet and check the main problems that the car you're looking at could have. In this case, we have timing chain stretching, turbo going out, loss of power, ticking noise, all kind of stuff that we can check while test driving the car, and that we didn't see in this case, so that's good. So make sure you have all the information and that you did all your homework before you even go and check the car. If it so happens that you're considering either a Mazda CX-7 and a Ford Explorer 2017, well, stick around. I'm gonna go over this one as well.